Hey everyone, I'm back from the UK shows and I'm excited to bring you another brand new Kiss sew along video. This month we are making the Reverse Applique Memories cushion. As always, I'll be providing step-by-step guidance on how to create your own beautiful cushion. But wait, there's more. If you join the April Kiss Facebook group, you can receive a 30% discount on this cushion design. And if you post photos of your completed cushion, we'll enter you into our exciting monthly competition. In this video tutorial, I'll show you how to expertly join your cushion blocks, add beautiful borders, and finish with a stunning backing. So grab your fabric in your embroidery machine and let's get started. Remember to follow your photograph written instruction provided in conjunction with this video tutorial, and also make sure you hit that like and subscribe button please. Get ready to create a gorgeous cushion that you will cherish for a lifetime. So, the first thing you want to do is get your hoop set up with some cutaway stabilizer, then load up the design onto your trusty embroidery machine. Once that's done, you want to grab some applique scissors to trim the batting and fabric. Now, take batting 1 and place it on top of the hoop, then stitch it down. After that, remove the hoop from the machine and trim the batting to about 1 to 2 millimeters from the stitching. Next up is the fun part, the reverse applique. To do this, stitch the placement line for the first circle, then take fabric A and place it right side up on top of the hoop, covering the placement line and stitch down. Then remove the hoop from the machine and trim the fabric about 1 to 2 millimeters from the stitching. Repeat this process with the next 3 circles, using fabric B, C and D. Once you've got all your 4 circles appliqued, it's time to add the finishing touch. Take fabric E and place it on top of the hoop right side up, covering everything in the hoop. And stitch it down, starting with the border of the block, then moving on to the circles. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. When all that's done, you'll want to carefully trim the fabric from around the circles to reveal the beautiful fabrics you used. And voila, reverse applique. Once those stitches are embroidered, it's time to quilt and add some hearts to the design. Remember, each block has a unique set of decorative stitches around the circles, so be sure to follow your provided instructions closely for this part. Once you've finished your block and you've embroidered all the decorative stitches and quilting, it's time to take it out of the hoop. Remember to be careful when removing it. so you don't accidentally damage any of your hard work. After that, grab your rotary cutter and ruler and trim the seams to about 1/2 inch. This will help keep everything neat and tidy for when you start piecing your blocks together. Hold on to this block and repeat the process with the others until you've got them all made. Then you'll be ready to move on to the next step of your project. Good luck. Alright, let's get started with joining your cushion blocks. It's an exciting time as you finally get to see your vision come to life. Once you've got your layout, it's time to start joining the blocks in rows. It might sound intimidating, but it's actually quite simple. First, place 2 blocks right sides together, making sure they're aligned properly. Then pin and stitch the side seam using your sewing machine. Make sure to stitch just inside the border that's already been stitched on the blocks so that your stitching won't be visible on the right side later on. Once you stitch the seam, open it out and give it a good press with your iron. Now repeat the same process with the remaining blocks until you have 2 completed rows. Once you've completed your rows, it's time to join them together. Place the first 2 rows right sides together, pin and stitch the seams on your sewing machine just like you did with the first blocks. After you stitch your seam, press your seams open with your iron. And that's it. You have successfully joined your cushion blocks together and created a beautiful foundation for your project. Take a moment to admire your hard work and get ready for the next step. Alright, let's talk about adding borders to your cushion project. It's a great way to add some extra flair and really make your project stand out. First things first, you need to choose how wide you want your borders to be. We went with 2.5 inches, 6.5 centimeters for ours, but you can choose any width you'd like. Once you've decided on your width, measure the length across the blocks, through the middle of the blocks to give a more average measurement. Now it's time to cut 2 strips of border fabric, fabric G, to the length you just measured. You'll also need to cut 2 pieces of batting, batting 2 to match. To secure the batting to the border fabric, you have 2 options. The first is to place the border fabric right side up on top of the batting and then with a long basting stitch, so 1/4 inch from the edge. This will keep the edges from moving around. The second option is to use temporary adhesive spray to lightly stick the batting to the fabric. We chose the latter. Once the batting is attached, place the cushion on top of the border fabric with the attached batting right sides together. Pin or clip the layers together and stitch them with a 1/2 inch seam. Remember to pin and stitch on the wrong side of the cushion so that you can make sure you're stitching inside the border line on the front of the cushion. This will ensure that the line of stitching won't show on the front later. If you use basting stitches on your borders, go ahead and remove them now. But if you did the temporary adhesive spray option, trim back the batting from the seam allowance and repeat for the opposite border. Now fold over and iron the side border down neatly. If you like, you can also top stitch the border for a neat, flat finish. Finally, trim the borders so that they are in line with the sides of the blocks. Next up, measure one of the side edges without a border, including the new border width in your measurement. Cut 2 strips of border fabric H, to the length you just measured. You'll also need to cut 2 pieces of batting 3 to match. Repeat the basting stitch method or use the temporary adhesive spray that we did for the first 2 borders. Place the cushion on top of the border fabric with the attached batting, right sides together, and pin and stitch a 1/2 inch seam from the edge. Again, remember to pin and stitch on the wrong side of the cushion . Now trim back the batting from the seam allowance Repeat for the opposite side of the cushion front and fold over and iron the side border down neatly and top stitch the border again if desired. And trim the borders to make them all even, and you're all done with your borders. Now I'll show you how to prepare your backing. To prepare the backing, you'll need to measure the width of your joined cushion front. Then measure 4 inches, 10 centimeters above the center seam. Cut 2 pieces of fabric eye using these 2 measurements for the backing. This will create the overlap for the back of your cushion. Next, you'll need to fold one of the long edges over 1/2 inch, wrong sides together, on each piece of fabric eye. Press with the iron, then fold it over another 1/2 inch and press again. Stitch along the folded edge to hold it in place. This will create a neat and tidy hem for the back of your cushion. Now onto adding the backing to the cushion. With your cushion front right side up, take one piece of fabric eye backing piece and place it wrong side up on top of your cushion front. The folded edge should be above the center of the cushion, approximately 2.5 inches, 5 centimeters. Make sure the backing piece covers the cushion sides and pin it in place. Next, measure 4 inches, 10 centimeters in from the folded edge of the first fabric eye and mark a line so it is easier to align the fabric. Place the second fabric eye on top of the opposite side of the cushion, wrong side up, with the folded edge of fabric eye in line with the mark you made on fabric eye. The two backing pieces should form an envelope with the hem sides overlapping each other. Pin in place. Now, turn the whole cushion over to the other side so that the wrong sides of the blocks are facing upwards. The backing pieces should not fall off as you have pinned it. And stitch the backing and the cushion front together with a 1/2 inch seam, all the way around the cushion. Lastly, let's add the front lining. Place fabric J front lining right side up on your work surface. Then place the cushion wrong side of the blocks facing up, on top of fabric J. Pin them together, leaving a gap of 4 to 9 inches, 10 centimeters to 23 centimeters for turning through later. Stitch together from the back of the borders, just inside your envelope backing stitch. Leave a gap for turning through later. Now trim the seams of the cushion to a 1/4 inch, which will remove the excess backing and lining fabric. leaving a ½ inch at the opening. Also clip the corners to create a smooth and neat finish. Turn the cushion out through the opening using a chopstick to help push out the corners. Give it a press with your iron, then hand stitch or glue the opening closed. Finally, turn your cushion out for a second time through the envelope created from the two backing pieces of fabric. Use a chopstick to help push out the corners, and you're done. Finally, all that's left to do is insert your cushion insert or stuff it with some fluffy stuffing, and then voila, you're ready to enjoy your beautiful new cushion. Thanks for following our Reverse Applique Memories cushion tutorial. Don't forget to share your completed cushion on our April Kiss Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tutorials. We look forward to seeing your next creation. Until next time, goodbye.